Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we have a special guest here stitching with me. As per usual, it's Susanna.
Hi!
we decided to do a video just sitting and stitching and yapping. I don't really have much to show you because I haven't done the homework from the last video. So I'm going to fiddle with that. I've got French knots to do and I've got more of this to do. What are you going to do, Susanna?
Oh, you can show them what I've done.
Yes.
You want to? I'll hand it over to Corrine.
So Susanna's popped a little patch on her corner of her collar and then stitched intensely over it. Then did a little bit of weaving and popped the buttons. So she's been just meandering around a piece. Oh, the yo-yo.
The yo-yo, done that, finished that. And I did the WD, which is
all right. And the yo-yo. I think in the last video you were putting it on and you stitched around. I like the little X there. And there was a little laundry label. We debated where to put it. We sort of travelled around a bit and then that's where it settled.
WD and it's wardrobe.
Wardrobe, WD. Very good. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. I've got my threads and I have a needle. Oh, one of the ladies, I think it was actually a couple of you, said, you need a ladybug on your jacket. So I went hunting for a ladybug. And I'm like, yes, there is a rather cute ladybug. And there he is. But he's so connected to the owl that I decided I won't. I'm going to leave him with the owl and he will pop up another day because the squirrel, the bunny, none of these guys.
There was a couple of ladybugs, but
I think someone who's been here before me and chopped up whatever was here, Susanna, may have taken the ladybug you're thinking of. But it's definitely not another one.
There was one near the squirrel and one near the owl. So, but there was two different types of squirrels.
That'd be
one
probably
was
what it was.
The nut.
Up here.
No, that was a bird.
That was a bird.
That I chopped out.
There's a bird missing.
Yeah, I think there's another squirrel. I mean, another thing like here.
Ah, so at the bottom of this squirrel. So is there any fabric in there that's maybe... No, it'd be a real fine seam. No. One ladybug. He's connected to the owl. They do not want to be separated. So, gosh, anyone who's just found my channel, we're doing a piece of clothing and embellishing and with stitch and fabric and bits and pieces. So if you've just tuned in and gone, what is she talking about? But for everyone else who hangs with us, you'll know exactly what we're up to. So I believe you'll be watching this Thursday. Let me look at my calendar. About the 4th of July. So Susanna will actually be well and truly back home at Ballarat.
Yeah, 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, America.
Yes. Yes. That date's come around quick. What was I going to say? So for us, it's Wednesday, our last day officially together, because tomorrow, Thursday, we are going to the airport to take them to their flight, about 1 o'clock, And there might be a rumour that we might revisit Howard Drapery.
Maybe.
Because there's a sale, but we'll see.
I don't think I'll fit it into my
I think
it's already packed.
The suitcase is full. What thread did I use and why is it not in my homework basket? This is why I pack a little basket. As I film with you guys, I go, that will be needed later, that will be needed later, and it's...
I love that colour, so pretty.
It's not there. So I've pilfered it for something else over the last 3 or 4 days. That's disappointing. Oh well, we won't be doing them.
You've probably got stuff all underneath that. That's your pile. Underneath that is all your pile of...
yeah, but that's just fabric. It's not a thread.
Fabrics, there's no threads? Oh, okay.
And it's a real... See, I thought that was it, but it's not. Oh, well, I'll find something. There's a needle. That's safe. I'll do a few French knots. Let's knock a few French knots off the list because that's laborious at times.
Well, I'm just using that.
So what are you stitching? Oh, throw it into the camera. Remember we were talking in Susanna's video about popping a little bit of that bright red.
It's got this colour on there?
Yeah, the flower, the leaves come in more. See the rose has this, and when she put it on, that's all I could see was this little pop of colour. I'm like, what is that? So then that led us to think maybe we should do
Some roses.
some rose, yeah,
And the ribbon and
little flowers here.
yeah, just take a
So that's what Susanna's going to stitch while we sit and chat. So pull up a chair, grab yourself a beverage, whatever that may be for you, depending on what time of the day it is,
what season it is.
what season it is.
Hot chocolate or
A toddy,
a
a toddy before bed. That's what my aunt would say.
a pina colada if you live in Florida.
My aunt would have a little port, and she'd call it a toddy.
That's cute.
A toddy before bed. We've been giggling at the use of the English language and things that I say versus what some of you out there might go, well, that's not what I imagine. And one that popped up was, what are you doing, Bandit? Thong.
Yeah.
I had referred to footwear, and some of the ladies in the comments like, that was not what we had in our mind. We were thinking more undergarments.
Yeah, well, thongs are
But we
definitely-
call that now. The young ones refer to thongs. I see advertising with Australian companies, and they'll say thong
Is that
instead
what
of
they call it?
instead
Isn't
of
it
G-string.
G-string.
When I was a kid, it was G-string. Anyway, how did we get onto that topic?
I don't know.
Moving right along. The other one that popped up was drapery. Someone, once again, a couple of you said that they were picturing when I entered the Howard drapery, it would be a little shop full of drapes with fabrics as well. But no, a drapery in Australia, we would think of somewhere you could go to buy clothing, sleepwear, hats.
It is an old
It's
world name, but it's
an old world name, yeah, a
because
department
it's been
store.
around for a while. Yeah,
It's like a department store.
yeah.
They were draperies. So that's just another example of,
They've just kept the old name, which I quite like.
yeah, because it was registered as the Howard Drapery. Everyone knows it. I remember going there as a kid. I was telling Vicky that the owner that we'd be going to the beach for a holiday at Harvey Bay, and if we went via Biggin from Gameri, we would come into the north of Harvey Bay, and the exit would be into potentially Howard instead of Maryborough, and we'd stop in there and Mum might pick up a zip or threads or something on the way through, or a piece of fabric. It was sort of just one of those stops, and the next stop would be Harvey Bay for a holiday as a kid. So childhood memories.
I reckon your grandmother probably would have gone in there too. Do you reckon?
Oh, not really. She didn't really radiate far from Kingaroy, and if she did go shopping, they would go south to Toowoomba, was their next biggest town. And Gameri is one of those towns that you're sort of, do you go to Toowoomba or do you go to Gympie Maryborough?
Mm-hmm.
And some families would always go Toowoomba way, other families like go more to the coast. Maroochydore definitely is a spot that regional folk from that area would go to, the Sunshine Coast. Very rarely they'd go into Brisbane because there were plenty on the way, big cities. But yeah, beside the point, only locals would know all that I'm going on about. We've got two good stories for you. We were driving to check out some more retail outlets and chatting away like we do. Mm-hmm. And Susanna and I were just cacking ourselves laughing because this story come up because we'd passed through a zone where they had smoke hazard signs everywhere, and we were like, I wonder if that's sugarcane burning off or something else, and it would look like timber. They were clearing some land and there was a bit of smoke. Susanna pops up and says, that reminds me of the time I burnt out
30 acres.
30 acres. Yes, you heard it. Young Susanna.
Young, I was only 9.
She was 9.
Can't be blamed, I was a little tacker.
So tell us the story, Susanna. Speak up just in case there.
Yes, well, when I was younger, like my big family that I had, we lived in suburbia, more on the western suburbs of Melbourne, and it was still outer suburbs and sort of country, but it wasn't. It's still suburbia, and my brother was playing with matches.
Like they do.
Like they do, and it was in the gutter, and because it's concrete, and he was just putting it out with his feet and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, oh yeah. So little sis noticing her older brother
Has to have a try.
Anyway, but we also had, my sister lived in a little town called Rokewood, which is about 30 minutes out of Ballarat. And we had a block of land, and we were going to build and live there.
One day.
One day. And so my dad had built a garage. And
Or a shed.
A shed, yeah. So we were there in summer, which was,
Hot.
and
Tinderbox.
and tinderbox, everything was dry, and anyway, little Suze goes behind the shed. I don't know how I got managed to
Somehow
get hold
she
of
got the matches. Is behind the shed where the brothers were doing it in a concrete bitumened environment and stamping the little match out, but not Susanna.
That's right. I thought, okay, well, I'll light the match and put it out with me feet.
With her thong.
And this is what I mentioned, thong as in flip flops.
Don't picture her with a G-string trying to put a fire out. Oh my God, they're spitting their coffee everywhere now.
That's it. So I play with matches, lit it up, being 9 and stupid, and then went to go and stomp it out with my feet, and
ouch.
That's a bit hot. And then there was old wood behind the shed. And I went to go, trying to bang this jolly fire.
She grabs
out.
a piece of wood to
and
bash
then
it out.
That caught alight. And then so everyone was in the garage, playing out and whatever they're doing. And the boys were like, oh, I'm so bored. I was 9, being the youngest, so I had, my other brother that was 10, and Rudy would have been 11 and 12, 30, all these teenagers. And
so you've gone, there's a fire, boys.
There's a bit of a fire.
Is that what you said to the brothers?
Yeah, I come in and I said, there's a bit of a fire out there. And the mum goes like, ah! And the boys go out there and they were like, beauty. And so they're peeing on the fire and whacking it out with,
trying to stop it for mum.
And of course, the police come, the fire engine come around. So mum grabbed me and went into town, because we were a bit out of town of Oakwood, to go to my sister's place to get us out of the danger. And then she left the boys with the fireys. Because it's now, like blown right up. And I looked back in the rear vision mirror, all I could see was red. And I'm like, Mum, you've got to hit me because Dad's going to kill me. And I'm like, hit me, Mum, hit me.
That just cracked me up. I was flat out keeping the car on the road because she's like, I said to Mum, hit me, Mum, because Dad's going to kill me. Oh, yeah. And I lost it. I lost it.
But I think my mum was probably more, she was one of these ones that would grab you like this and choke the crap out of you. But I think she must have thought I've had enough,
Trauma. She could probably see you were like shaking for the
But
fear
the boys
of life.
loved it. We got photos of them looking all black and
it was a great day out for the lads.
That's it. So we were really lucky that it was just
30 acres.
Well, 30 acres.
Not 300 acres.
Animals, the wind changed just to that.
Tell them about the sheep.
The sheep huddled into a corner and then the wind changed just before it hit them. So, yeah, my mum was praying real hard.
It was nearly loss of life of a sheep.
So it was more acreage because the guy next door, I don't think he lived there. I think it might have been like us, like just had a block of land and, get holiday.
He might have leased his paddock to some local sheep to mow the lawn.
Very lucky. I made the news in Ballarat. And then the police come around next day and I'm looking really coy. He's like, this is really dangerous. You blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah.
I know, sir.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Mr. Officer.
Officer. So, yeah.
The boys were doing it and I thought I could do it and it just went all pear-shaped.
Yeah, it did. And then, because this was in the 80s, and then the movie come out.
See, I've never seen that movie.
Haven't you seen it? It was when Drew Barrymore was really young. It was when she was still cute and, the
little girl.
And
what was the name of the movie?
Probably a bit older than E.T. Firestarter.
It
was called Firestarter. I think she had psychic powers and she was able to start fires. And then my brothers, like, look, they've made a movie about you, see?
And to this day.
Yeah, recently. Every time we get together, family get-togethers, I always bring it up. Oh, yeah, there's fire starter, blah, blah, yeah,
And then
whatever.
she tells me, and of course I'm like, oh my goodness, that is a cracker. We have to tell the gang.
Oh, yes. So that's my good story. That's what they said for years. I've been like, it's a good story to tell the grandkids or my own kids. Well, I'm not telling
There's
my
a
own.
lesson to be learnt there.
That's it. I'm not telling my own kids.
Don't give Susanna matches. Oh my goodness. Imagine it could have been really bad.
it
On
could have
a
been really-
serious note,
It is.
the bushfires in Australia are bloomin' horrific, and they are so wild and so dangerous and so quick, and you know it starts sometimes with innocent behaviour.
Well, yeah, mine was definitely
devastating.
innocent, but when you get these guys that deliberately start fires, it's shocking.
Yeah.
So, but mine was just a stupid kid that had no idea. You know, come from the city. You know, we're having a holiday in the country, and it was lucky that we lived in Roquewood, not Jareel, because Jareel's got a real Enfield State Forest.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it would have
imagine it.
been. What could you imagine? It would have been shocking. So yeah, there you go.
We
That's
do not condone starting fires
That's
because
it.
boy,
See, this is the serious teacher coming out.
ah,
do not copy my actions. But yes,
we come close to losing our house in Brisbane due to a fire that was through the Daisy Hill area that came down the side of the freeway, jumping from freeway side to freeway. And we're talking 4-lane freeway in one direction. So actually probably, 8 lanes, 6 lanes in certain places. And I remember seeing it flicking between the gum trees from one side of the freeway to another.
It's amazing how
And
it jumps.
and the traffic had stopped, so I couldn't get to my exit because it looked like it was in my area, and I was coming from the city. And I remember I drove down the embankment of the freeway, and there was a few other cars doing it, so I just followed them. I thought I've got to get home to see if I am in there because it sounded like I was on the news. So I went down the embankment. I drove for probably a half a K along this grassy embankment with all the traffic stopped to get to my exit. And then when I got to the exit, there were police there, and I told them my address, and they said, yep, go. And I shot down this lane and then got up to where our house was, and the street was blocked off with a fire truck. And he was coming out of our street, and he said, look, love, we're on the other side of the freeway. We've got no trucks to help you guys. We've just come around to confirm that, yes, it has jumped, but it's a bigger suburb on the other side with more property. So unfortunately, you guys are on your own until we can either get a wind change or we can get back to you. So I drove straight up to our street, and there was only about 7 houses in this new estate, but backed onto farmland and bush, which was running along the side of the freeway.
This is the house that you.
This was when we were first married. So
okay.
the first house we had. And I got up there, and the neighbours were already all there with hoses, and they had their backs to our fence line and their fence line, and we were watering down, and then, it just came like a rocket. But because it hit low pastures and a mowed acreage farm, it really slowed down to just a rolling little grass fire. But 100 metres away was the gum trees, where it was skipping through the top of the gum trees. So it sort of hit them, fizzled out towards us, but then we could see it just roaring through the gum trees heading further south. And that's when it got to the Daisy Hill area. And so it sort of Brisbane people went from 8 Mile Plains, jumped across to me at Wishart Outlook, this is for the locals, then scooted down the side of the M1 until it got to Shayla Park, Daisy Hill, and it took out a big chunk of the Koala Sanctuary National Park lump of trees that we had species in there. It was devastating. But luckily, there was no fuel to keep it rolling, probably half a K from our fence. But where it got closest, our back corner of our picket fence, was probably about 30 centimetres of charred grass. That's how close it got.
Wow.
But it didn't have the energy to take out the houses. So anyway, long story short, we're all standing there rubbing our brows going, oh my goodness, what just happened? It was so quick. Probably about an hour later, we're still all sitting on the footpath looking at the devastation in the distance, and the fire trucks come up the street. And we're like, it's all good, boys. We got it. It's all under. And they were just shaking their heads and they said, we honestly had written your street off because we could see what was coming for yous. And you were such a small little pocket, but it was going their way as well. So they put all trucks into there. And we said, Brampton Street's gone. And we were like, no, it lost energy and fizzled. And where they didn't go behind our properties, so they just saw gum trees and thought we were right on them.
Yeah.
Didn't realise it was an old farm.
It's amazing that what
That
it
it
mowed
stopped
down.
it.
Well, I've got photos, I think, of the big machinery when I did it. It was mainly just grass.
Yeah.
There was a creek that had gum trees and stuff there. But when it's a grass fire...
Yeah, a little pasture fire.
So 30 acres was actually not that bad considering how fast fire, because it was more of a grass fire. But they come in with those shredders and they dig the dirt.
Yeah,
so
they cut a fire break.
Yeah, fire break, that's the
Yeah,
one. So
they
did
bring a
that.
bulldozer in and they'll shave a 5 metre fire break.
So we've got a photo of the bulldozer coming in doing a fire break and the boys looking all crusty.
Impressed?
No, because they're all black and, grabbing anything to whack out the fire.
When we moved to Cornubia, we've got a bit of scrub coming up to us there. And we asked the council, what can we clear as a fire break? Because Gaz was not sort of aware of all that. That's my history on farming. And the council said 3 metres. And I just laughed at them and I said, 3 metre clearance of gum trees from my fence line is not enough. So if the neighbour then cleared 3 metres, I cleared 3 metres, and that's 6 metres, we're talking big old gum trees that are touching. That's like a possum can jump that.
Yeah.
A fire is going to jump that. And we just laughed. And our neighbour wasn't real interested in clearing any trees to protect for fire. So it was really, we're all going. We're going to go down if this comes. But luckily it didn't. But they're pretty devastating. Australia's pretty switched on when it comes to fires. I know there's parts of America that have just been decimated by fires. Gosh, when it gets into that old forest country, and if the undergrowth is huge, because we've had so much rain, which is what Australia's looking at, 3 years of El Nino, is it? Is that the right word? Which one of them where you get a lot of rainfall? Our undergrowth in our national parks, for example, is over our heads, thick. And because we don't allow cattle anymore to go into our national parks to munch it all down, when that goes, it's going to be devastating because it'll be up in the treetops and then it goes for miles and miles. It's a real debate about it in our country.
Burn off in order to grow.
That's right. They should be back burning all that land now to keep the fuel level down.
Yep.
But sometimes I think we don't learn. Maybe there's things underway that I don't know about in government that are putting things like that in place. Possibly, because we've had so many devastating fires in the last 20 years.
Yeah, Victoria seems to have a little bit more.
Well, they've been hit.
Fires.
New South Wales, Victoria.
You guys get floods, we get fires. Is that the cat?
He's snoring.
Snoring, yeah.
Fudgy's snoring.
He's a cute little fella.
So, that was one of our stories. What was the other one? Oh, the day that...
The same day.
Same day, we're out gallivanting.
Because it's me and Corrine.
Yeah, we were filming the tour of the Fraser Coast fabric shops. We left Gaz and Brad at home and we were thinking in the car, I wonder what they'll have for lunch. And I said, Gaz will sort something out for Brad. And then I was like,
Brad will help himself. And I'm like, nah, he won't. He's not like that. If it was me, I would have, but Brad just won't. Yeah,
well, then I was like, Gaz might not help him with something. So we were giggling away going, I wonder what's happening. So we get home.
At 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock, And they're both one's reading a book, one's watching a movie or playing a game in separate rooms, but still in earshot of each other. All is quiet. And I was like, Gaz, did you get some lunch for Brad? No. We've just looked at each other and said, well, he might be starving. No, he's all right. I said, well, how do you know? Well, he went for a walk.
He went
What,
for,
for
a
5 hours?
5K walk. And he goes, and I said, have you had anything to eat? He goes, no. I said,
Are you
went for
hungry?
a 5K walk.
Yeah, a bit
and he
peckish.
goes, yeah, a bit hungry.
And Gaz is like, well, I've been on the phone. I didn't know. And it was funny.
They're hopeless, aren't they, men? Hopeless.
I said to Brad, just help yourself. You've been here like 4 or 5 days. Just make yourself at home. Oh, I'd never do that. Where Susanna and I go straight to the fridge, open the pantry, start baking a cake.
What's to eat? What's to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we thought that was very amusing.
Typical blokes.
Yeah. But anyway, we fed them. It's all good. We had a little nibbly tray up in seconds. Give them something.
Yeah, enough to tide him over until dinner.
Yeah.
Because it was getting close to dinner time.
Just about.
Bypass lunch.
We'd had a sneaky sausage roll at the Howard Bakery.
And an ice cream.
And an ice cream.
Oh, it was delicious.
As we come out of Harvey Bay, there's a shop. It's world famous. I believe it's won numerous awards, 72 flavours. And I'm like, Susanna, I've got to get you an ice cream on the Esplanade.
You can just picture Sue's hands on the window going, oh.
What one did you choose in the end?
There was so much to choose from. I ended up going for peanut butter, I think it was like crunch or chocolate or whatever it was, fudgy type thing. And then it's very unusual because you can have 1.5 scoops. So the peanut butter one, that was on the bottom and it was so good. And then I wanted something fresh, so I went for a
Watermelon,
yeah.
sorbet.
Yeah, sorbet. So that was nice. And like he said, look, you could just about mix anything together, it'd be all right. I reckon if you mixed mint, that would be a fairly strong flavour.
Yeah.
It was yummy. What did you
I
have?
said to her in the car on the way, it'll be overwhelming. I won't be able to decide, and I'll settle for boysenberry. It's a safe bet. So I get in there once again. I'm reading them all, and the one that stuck in my mind as a potential, which I was like, no, don't get that. That's ridiculous. It was cake batter flavour, and I thought, oh, that could be all right.
You tried the Turkish Delight.
Well, then I saw the Turkish Delight, and I said to the young lady, would you mind if I had a little taste? They have paddles there that you can have a little taste before you commit. So she gave me a little taste, and it had chunks of chocolate in it, Turkish Delight colour, and it just seemed really sickly.
Artificial?
Yeah, a little bit. It was very sickly, and dark chocolate is on Turkish Delights.
72 flavours, and she went back to flipping boysenberry.
So I'm like, I'm out, I'm chicken out.
And
A boysenberry scoop, please.
And I just said, if I lived here, I would make it my mission to try every flavour.
Your civic duty. She's saying,
that's it,
as
civic duty.
We're walking up the footpath back to the car, and she goes, it would be my civic duty to try
Every
72
flavour.
flavours.
That's it.
Oh my goodness, it
What's
was
the point? Going
funny.
for the same old thing, like, oh, they had licorice, they had, it was just Drool City.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm always like a kid in a candy store when it comes to ice cream.
What were you calling them? You were walking across the street going, there's a word, you said ice cream, but you shortened it. Even Brad mentioned it. He said, oh, if we get an ice cream, Susanna will call it, is it ice-cream?
No.
There's a word he said that
No.
you shortened it like a 4-year-old would say.
Yeah. Ice cream.
Ice cream. Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yeah, that's what I say to him at night when I'm something and I know that there's, a tub of something good in the fridge. And I look at him and I go, ice cream. And he can't resist. He has to give it for me.
Well, that's what he said you'd say going to
Ice
the...
cream. Yeah, I love the ice cream. Love me some ice cream.
So, yeah, that was pretty amusing.
Yep.
So tonight, we've just had lunch and we did some fish on the barbecue and created like a lemon pepper, a little bit of flour, shook it in a bag, straight onto the barbecue.
Nice.
And some celery bits and bobs,
No, I'm still
dips
full.
and crackers. So tonight we're planning to go to the local Burrum Heads Bowls Club for a nice dinner. The chef is off tonight. She has sent home the workers. She's not cooking. The kitchen's closed.
I'm like, I thought you were talking about the Burrum thing. The chef is off. I'm like,
I'm
what
gonna
kind of crap meal are we going to get at this local thing?
it's me. The kitchen's closed at McEwen Manor.
Oh, that's it.
I've sent the staff home early.
So
We're done. And it's funny because tomorrow being Thursday, Susanna to the airport for a 3 o'clock flight. She's out of here. While I'm doing that task, some mates from Brisbane are going to turn up at the front door, and they're here for 2.5 days because they're building up this way. So their builder said, come on up and choose the colours, the bricks and things like that. So they're going to work from here, and then in their off time, downtime.
hopefully I get to see them.
Yeah,
I missed it last time I was here. I met Marianne when we went
Paris.
And when I was here last time, we were supposed to go for tea, and then Marianne got sick, and we were like,
She got COVID, yeah.
No, we're not going out for dinner. And then this time, I reckon I'll probably dismiss her again.
Yeah.
We'll have to strip the bed.
Yeah.
Get it made up so they can...
Got to strip the bed, wash the bed linen, remake the bed, vacuum, clean the bathroom, and then get Susanna to the airport. Hopefully I can tee up let them in the house because I probably won't be back routine. Grab some bread. I need an avocado because Marianne loves an avocado on toast for breakfast. So we need an avocado. And the same time, Gaz has now got to drive back to Brisbane because we've got 4 shipping containers of stock coming in, which will be arriving any second. And Chelsea, our manager in Brisbane at the main store, she's got a team of lads all rostered on for the weekend. So they will help Chelsea and Gaz unload the containers, load the van, pop that across to the second store. So that'll be Gaz's job. He'll be the courier between the two. And Chelsea will need the lads to help her stow all the excess that won't fit in the shop into the warehouse next door. The Virginia store, the manager there, he's razzling up a team of lads to help him get the stock from Gaz's van and get that stowed. Then there'll be a team come on and start building all the Christmas trees because we're getting our Christmas trees, the green ones. We're getting our fibre optic trees with all the little lights. We're getting baubles, and I think that's it. But in amongst that, some of those factories make for me wreaths and garlands and some floral picks and things like that. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. It'll really make the stores fill up a bit more.
Just like Christmas, literally.
Yeah. So then Gaz has got to get back to me early next week, which would probably be, I'd love him back by Tuesday the 2nd, because Wednesday we're going into our skin doctor and he's going to lop off a few suspicious bumps and lumps. He doesn't think they're anything nasty. We had one of those skin checks, and Gaz and I both got an appointment for a quick nip and tuck.
Which living in Queensland you need that. I've only ever done that once.
We've always had the GP look us over, but we noticed up here a lot of skin clinics being further north again. And I said to Gaz, let's just go in and get a full scan. They sent a camera down our body and took pictures. Oh, that was, hanging everything out in the wind to catch a chill. But they took a photo from head to toe. I even had to show them the soles of my feet, the backs of my hands. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's now on file to be hacked and used all over the internet probably. No, I'm just joking. But that's on file. So next year when I go back, they'll run that camera down my body again, and the computer program goes, ooh, that's a spot. And it highlights it in red. So when the doctor reviews it, he goes, show us your left arm. There's a spot there that wasn't on that picture last year.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. He did also a physical look at areas that we were concerned about, because the camera really didn't pick much up. Actually, it didn't pick anything up. So we were technically okay, but Gaz and I stand there going, no, have a look at that, have a look at that, have a look at that. And he says, yeah, I think they're ugly, what do you call them? Ugly friends. So they're friendly. They're not a melanoma or anything, but it's ugly. Okay. So you've noticed it. So it might be a mole or a weird shape or a funny rough patch on your skin. And he said, look, I think they're all okay. There is one on me that is like, oh, I think it's an ugly friend. But when he zoomed in with this little thing he had, he said it's actually quite deep. So he said, we're going to knock it out anyway, but I suspect that it's an ugly friend. So I'm like, righto.
Better be safe than sorry.
Yeah, so we've made an appointment and I'm really hoping Gaz will be back in time for that because I don't want to cancel it.
But what have you done?
I'm just doing French knots and I've actually done the whole...
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, yes.
Just highlighting little bits.
Like her, in her little sash
I've
around
still got to
some
do,
flowers.
like the centre, I might go do a little bit of yellow. And I'll probably be a little bit more detailed with some of the roses.
Basket of flowers.
Yeah, I'll do them. Just sort of like French knot and little bit.
Are we on camera? Come this way a bit. Yep.
Yeah. So getting there. Just while we're yapping. So yeah, I'll just probably
It's
pick
good
out.
because it picks
maybe,
up this little hint here and this little hint. It just ties the whole.
Yeah.
You could even run a line of it through there.
Yeah, well, I was actually thinking.
Look, it's even on that there. Look.
Because you're doing all, you know, the running stitch. I might do running stitch all along, you know, just to, even though it's been stitched down, you give it that,
Yeah.
you know, a bit of that love.
I really enjoyed making this log cabin because it was all sorts of fabrics. So this morning when I couldn't sleep and I was lying there in bed thinking, like you do, I think it was 4 a.m. in the morning, the log cabin kept popping up into my mind. I'm thinking, I might make another one. I've just got to make another one.
Maybe you make it in the alley colours.
Yeah, or just to even have it sitting around that if I do a slow stitch project, it's a background I can grab. Because I just don't see old log cabins for sale,
Well,
let alone they match what I do.
Well, you do, but your friend, Susanna, went into, what's it, the Reclaim Fabrics and bought out Melanie of all her old little patches of...
Yeah, see,
See,
purveyor of textiles,
yeah.
Melanie, she sells all
sells
sorts of things.
cutter quilts and then
And someone
I bought
bought
5.
them all out.
She does have extras if you want some.
No, it's all good. You bought 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no wonder they disappeared so quick. It's the quick and the quick
Yeah.
draw McGraw out
Yeah,
here.
well, she have one on there, and then you buy that, and then it'll still be on there, but it's because she's got more than one.
I think I did get some. I've got a pile with Melanie, my goodness. I told her to tally it up and post it. So there'll be a video in the next week, I'd say, of my purchases from Melanie again. And then I've unfollowed her on Instagram so that she doesn't pop up every morning and tempt me.
Yeah, well, I did that too, but then I went back.
I glanced at it last night. I wonder what Melanie's got. And I'm like, no, it's good if you look at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff you probably don't want's left. All the
Right.
good stuff is at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Bad time to
Is
be
it?
looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I like the vintage stuff, and she does have a lot. She has it's all reclaimed, so it's all like second hand. But she doesn't always have vintage. She has some beautiful vintage linens on there, but like nut has to be extra special. And then when I did this, I'm like, if I'm going to be doing some more, I'm probably going to be doing more making stuff.
I don't see colours I like, but
Yeah. Well, you just got to make, it's a challenge. You make it work. But the ones I got, they were quite
pretty.
soft.
Well, I didn't see them because you bought all 5 of them.
Where's my phone? No, it's on the charger. I was going to show you a photo.
Don't tempt me.
I'll show you when I,
Yeah, you do a video when you get your parcel.
yeah, which should be there. I've messaged the boys. Please check at the front door, under the bench at the front door.
If there's a
Because
parcel.
I'm expecting a couple of parcels. Ooh.
I had some books arrive too that I'd sort of half forgotten that I ordered because the girls, those Roxy girls, announced volume 6, which is the Nature Journal.
Yeah.
And straight away I was like, oh, wonder what's out there at Booktopia, like you do. And I ordered 3 books, I think it was, and they've arrived. So I must do a video to show you them.
One in particular, I'm like, she's going to have to check me bags because it's really nice.
So Susanna's already pinched it and it's packed in the bag. So if there's only 2 books, you know the girls stole one of them.
It is really nice.
Yeah, I might say that for my first Roxy video, which will probably be Saturday the 6th, because the girls will go up on Wednesday the 3rd of July with the first prompt and more information about the project. So I want to watch that first because I haven't done any previews of my thoughts yet because Susanna has been here, so I've been a little distracted.
But because it's June, and I said I wouldn't do any videos, and I've done heaps, but it's because I'm
they're holiday videos.
Holidaying. It's not my normal videos of the.
I think you'd switched off to holiday mode. So when you were thinking about getting filmed June and July, you were like, oh, do I have to? I'm going on holidays.
Well, I filmed part 1 of the galah. I still haven't finished my fuchsia. I don't like it. I'm going to pull it out.
There you go. You've heard it here first. The fuchsia. She doesn't like it.
Pulling it out, and I'm going to do it again.
She's going to redo it. That's for the botanical beauties on a Monday.
So don't be frightened if you don't like something. Just don't do it. It's just like...
She kept looking at mine and going, yep, I'm going to...
Nah, going to take it down. I was actually thinking of doing something there like that today so that I can be ready for when I come back, because I haven't got any video footage. I wanted to do at least one so that my Botanical Beauties playlist has at least got June in it. So... Do
you want me to draw you some?
Well,
I've got
the same book.
Ah, okay.
Because I was thinking of doing that on. See, Corrine's really good. She actually looks at the picture and draws it.
Sometimes
I do. Get me light box and trace the sucker.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
but I do go off track. I've got to remind myself to look at what you're drawing and not let your brain tell you what you think you've seen. Because then you just don't get the right shape, or that's
and
a
you're
real
allowed to
trick.
do that. They said, like if it wasn't legal and you weren't allowed to do that, I wouldn't do it. But I'm like,
the book's
you're
for
allowed
that.
to.
It's illustrations to use.
Yeah. So that's what it's for. But I mean, it's good. She's challenging her drawing skills. I mean, as you know, I can't draw. I'm an artist, but I'm like, I can't be stuffed. I'm just gonna trace a couple of these babies onto some calico.
Yeah.
And maybe I just might do the tracing here, get it ready to go when I get home. I'll have to film and do that. And then I've got to be on to the next prompt for August, which Corrine has already done.
Yeah, I got August done for the calendar project that Susanna's hosting. It's the galah that she just referred to, where I'm doing a bunny to go on that thing. And I also filmed the prompt for the next one, which I can't say because...
which is July 1 or the August
July 1, sorry, July.
Yeah, so you can say the July, you just can't say what the prompt is.
Yeah.
Which is not far away, girls.
No.
I've done August.
I've done August. I'm showing her sign language here. I've done July prompt.
Yeah.
And then... I've done...
Oh, yeah, you've done August prompt as well.
I did 2 videos of August
Ah.
because I thought Susanna's such a distraction that I may need a week of recovery after she leaves and not feel like doing anything. So I thought I'm just going to keep nibbling away at those videos. But so far, I'm okay.
Which is good. See, if I had done that, but I was with me back and everything... And I just was in need of a holiday. You could probably hear it.
Yeah, you'd switched off probably 10 days before you got here. You were starting to wind down, which is good, you know, doesn't matter.
But the videos leading up to me saying, okay, I need a break, you could just tell. I felt terrible. And then I did a video doing the teacup.
Yeah.
And you could tell I was really quite chirpy, and I had, that was a...
energy.
It was about the 15th, so I'd had experienced 15 days of, chilling.
Yeah.
And I felt a lot better, so I'm like, no, I'm just going to take a month off. So, and coming here and doing videos, well, that's not really work.
We've created a whole new project, our shirts.
Something I've been
This is riveting viewing. They've seen nothing but French knots. I said mentally a second ago, I'll finish this thread and pick up the colour here and do a bit of that, but I went and cut myself another 4 metre.
That is beautiful. See, that when you've got something like this, you think automatically light, but the dark, that's why I'm doing the dark with the roses. You need to bring it out. Like the little bits, have you shown them the little bits that you've done around? Yeah.
Yes.
Just highlights what I need to do on mine. I love that colour. Oh, I love that colour. I should have bought it.
So I'm doing a mix of colonial and French. There's a bit all over the place. I'm concentrating on yibba yabba and not on the actual stitch. Look away, Jennifer, if you're watching. She was saying that girl is not doing French knot. She's doing colonial knots. Now she's doing a colonial knot. She's not doing French. She was just shaking her head. Must check the letterbox too to see if that book has arrived.
Yes. So what? How many? Long has it been?
3 weeks.
No, as in the time.
What for?
As in
Oh, the video.
How long have we been?
We've been talking for 3 weeks. I don't know, 45 minutes.
Flipping it.
Flipping it. We're going to go till midnight.
No.
What's it? 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
This is like a live chat. She did have a brilliant idea of turning this because there's a mirror behind us and facing it towards the mirror, and then you can actually see us. But she's like, nah,
I'm too shy.
No.
And my room's too messy, and I'm like, oh, I just want to film. I don't want to have to tidy up.
No, it's not messy.
So I thought, nah, and I don't know if my iPad.
The table's messy.
I don't know if my iPad thingy would hold the weight like that. It's designed to be this way. So I probably don't even have the right stand to do it. But anyway, beside the point.
I've got Fudgy coming over here smooching.
So Fudge is out.
Hello. You're not snoring anymore. You've had a sleep.
It's been a rainy, overcast day today, so it feels like it's quite late and we should be heading to the bowls club.
Yeah.
But
we'll be.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's very overcast. What is the time? I haven't got my phone with me. Is it on the iPad? It's 4:11.
We'll have to toddle off to there because it doesn't go late. It's a small town community. Yeah.
The old ducks. Now, what I would like is some fabric here. I'll process thought while you. I've got this.
You move into shot. That's it. Susanna's
I've got these.
Need your help, guys.
And I'm like wanting to get some fabric and cutting out the little flowers. That would be nice, like that.
How much of them do you have, but you've only got charm scared. There's one.
Yeah. Have you got anything?
Not that.
In the right. Oh, this is just my.
What's in that one?
Yeah, there's that one.
2, 3, 4.
But it's.
The only thing I'd say is when it goes to a washing machine.
Yeah.
These little details might disintegrate.
Maybe I ought to do ribbon.
Keep embroidering. Do you have ribbon? Ribbon's delicate.
Yeah.
You'll be hand washing this sucker.
Yeah, that's right. I've got this.
That'd be nice just as a piece.
Yeah. Actually,
couch that on.
Like this. Hang a minute.
Cross that.
Go underneath and up and underneath.
No, just straight on. Visible stitch it on. Right along that edge there. From there to there.
Oh, look at
and
that.
then trim it.
Fluff, fluff. That's the bit I pinched off you because I said it goes really well.
Yeah, we got that from Gail's
Oh.
Patchwork Emporium. See, that's the thing. When it hits the washing machine.
Oh, it looks like it's bleeding. No, no blood.
Just a piece of velvet ribbon. Just look, she's just pulled it and done that. Look at the mess. Put the ribbon away. You know what we should do is get a matches and burn the end.
The great fire of Borum.
Let's burn the end. We get a cigarette lighter and you know you melt the end of things.
Done that. No, I think we're better off using some of that glue. Can't trust me with matches. Been like how many years? 9 I was, so I'm 54, so that's quite a few years. 40-something years.
So you'd like to think we've grown up since then.
Yeah.
We'd make better choices. Yeah.
Well, maybe I can just do. I sort of did more open thing here, but maybe I can do a bit more full.
Hey, Fudgy.
And blend it with that. What do you reckon, Pete? That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Come here, Fudgy. Fudgy's coming for a say hello. We might as well have his visit from the pussycat.
Hey, Fudge.
There he is.
Fudgy. Oh.
Let me just get rid of my jacket. That's probably not a smart decision. There we go. Hey, Fudge. Have a little pat of the Fudge.
You're such a cutie boy, aren't you? He's so serious.
Yeah.
That's all I just laugh. He's got such a serious face. Look at him.
Flip him over in my arms like a baby. and I'll bring him up to the camera.
And say, nah. He's like, what are you doing to me, Mum?
Hey,
Have a look.
Fudgy.
Fudgy.
Yeah.
He's got such a serious little face. But he is cute.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's a
boy.
Burmese. For anyone who asks, that way I don't have to type Burmese
Yeah.
a couple hundred times.
That's where, like, why he's so meowy, because that's him chatting.
Yeah, Siamese are a bit that way too. I remember a cousin, the mum, had 3 or 4 Siamese cats. And at dinner time when she was peeling the veggies, I was just a kid visiting her daughter. These Siamese, meow, meow, meow. Oh, it was a whiny sound. And I remember thinking as a kid, I'll never own a Siamese, but because boy, they're noisy.
And it reminds you of that.
And I ended up with a Burmese, and he's
They're not
pretty
as
much very similar. Casper never did, never said a word.
It's Burmese as well, was he?
Yeah, he was a lilac.
I wish they could see that. It's so cute.
Bandits at the door
He looks adorable.
watching us from the door.
Well, that song, the Siamese, reminds me of that song on Aristocats. You know, that Aristocats Disney movie from the 60s?
Oh,
Where
okay.
we are Siamese, if you please.
Ah, I can't remember that. Years since I watched a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Do they still make them? I don't know.
No, it's an old one. It's a classic. Oh.
Bandit spotted Fudge.
Did he?
Yeah, so he's like, roar, roar, roar.
He's such a loyal. Oh, there's Pepper and Bandit. They're going for
It has just started raining again gently, so that might have
run. I
razzed.
want to be out here with your mum, but it's raining.
So yeah, we apologise in advance if you haven't learnt anything here. Sewing wise, this is
stitch and stitch. This is what we're like
when you guys aren't around.
Yeah, and we're
You be yappering, doing our homework for
right.
you guys.
This is us doing homework.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of stitching to do on this.
Yeah,
on
I
this thing. So
talked all these genius ideas and now I've got to stitch them.
That's it. Yeah, great. Who thought of this idea?
Whose idea was it to sat and stitch the stems of kilometres of stitching?
Like this. Bring out the red. Have you seen how many flowers there are? I'll count them. How many does that be?
That's why you're looking to cut flowers out of fabric just to block on them. She's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
There's 148
15
roses.
It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you've got a whole, when you're a bit of a, bigger girl like me and you've got more landscape, you think, because your jacket's bigger.
You got 200 flowers to embroider.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who was the goose that said, let's French knot the centre of all these flowers? Yeah. Like, it's pretty, and I'm pleased I'm doing it, but I just glanced up to that big sucker there, and I'm like, I'm not even got enough.
Nah.
It's
I
barely.
really need to do something different.
I might bring another colour in, because I don't think I'm going to make it. I can see the centre of the spool.
Yeah.
It probably will make it. Like,
Do a bigger fringe. Do a colonial knot and then wrap it. That's what I did.
Don't make it harder than what it is.
Colonial knot. Wrap it twice.
I'm already doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I've got 3 wrapped French knots, 2 wrapped French knots, colonial knots backwards, colonial knots mixed with French knots. It really is.
I'm just doing a colonial knot wrap twice in the centre of these roses. Doing a few stitches. Maybe.
I've actually been busy all day making sure my website that I've created for an announcement next week, my Christmas panels and the retreat details, actually works. So I've been liaising with Chelsea, my manager at Brisbane, who pretty much runs the Christmas Shack website. So she's pretty up to date on the latest Shopify
You're
things.
so lucky to have her. She's
Saves me a lot of time. And I said, remove the password, we'll have a little look and see if it works. And she did a fake transaction and I could find it. Susanna couldn't find it. Gary comes in, he goes, I can't find the website. And we're like, well, what's wrong? And then we ring Chelsea and she goes, yeah, I was just looking at it. It doesn't look like Google is grabbing it and making it obvious. So she watched a YouTube video, because you learn everything on YouTube these days. You think these kids are right up with it, but all they do is go to YouTube and go, how come my website is not on Google?
Yep.
And there was a video there from some 15-year-old lad who said, you need to link your domain name. So I'm at the barbecue frying the fish for lunch. Phone rings and it's Chelsea. You need to link your domain name. And I said, do I have a domain name? I'm pretty sure I do, but I did that over a year ago. Where's that? Where do I get it? What did I buy? And Gaz is like, you've got to keep your passwords. You've got to know all these things.
And you're like,
So I'm frying the fish going, Chelsea, I'll feed Susanna and Brad and Gaz, and then I'll sit down and work out where the hang my domain name is. So anyway, luckily Gaz had the password, because he knows what I'm like. Got onto the crazy domain site. Yes, I did own it. I've been paying $7 a year for it.
really?
For 2 years.
And done nothing?
Done nothing, because I postponed the release of the panels a year because I was moving house, which I explained in the video you'll see. Actually, looking at the calendar, you've already watched that video. Yeah. They'll have already watched exactly what I'm saying. But anyway, beside the point, we then got the domain name, linked it to the back end of Shopify, and bingo, it all worked magically. Suddenly the website was seen by Mr. Google. So filming this in advance, gee, I hope Thursday or Tuesday goes well.
That's it.
Because I could be sitting here thinking like I'm the cat that got the mouse and all me back end's right.
And everyone's trying
And
to buy
meanwhile,
their panels and they can't.
all hang has broken loose because Mr. Google is not connecting me to you guys. So fingers crossed. Fudgy's like, there's no food in my bowl.
Isn't it? Do you want me to chuck one in?
No, it's all right. He can wait. I better check the clock. We've probably been yabbering over an hour now. Fudgy, please wait, son.
Where's boy? You want something to eat?
He
It's
wants
over in
his
the corner.
dinner.
I can
Yeah,
do
you
it.
can do it if you want. Just grab a satchel and tear the little...
So all of it?
Yep.
I'll be eating.
Auntie Susanna's getting your supper for you, Fudgy. Do it over the sink because it can bloop out in a big block.
Oh, so
It's got a bit of an air pocket thing in it, and I often smear it everywhere. So tear it straight. Yeah, he's at the bowl meowing at her now. He's like, you've just picked up my satchel.
Oh yeah, it's empty. It's empty.
Topped
Here
up.
you go, Fudgemus. Right. Mr. Fudge. Yum, yum.
Can you guys hear that? Susanna's talking to Fudge. Yum, yum, Mr. Fudge.
Where's the bin?
Just sit it in the sink and I'll take it to the main bin when we leave the room.
Better wash my hands.
Yes. Can't be touching your shirt. How are we going for time? I've finished my thread. Oh, look at that. 2 minutes.
2 minutes to go.
2 minutes to go.
There you go. He's quiet.
We're filling up the cat.
It was pretty empty. He's like, where's me dinner, damn it? Come on.
So is there anything else you want to add? Oh, I know what I was going to say. This video will be also airdropped over to Susanna's iPad, and she will put her business link in that and pop it up on her channel, and I'll pop it up on my channel. So if you see a notification that Susanna's put up a video today and it's the same day as this one,
Yeah.
and you're wondering, gee, I've heard this fire story before,
Yep.
it's because we're sharing this.
Yeah, sharing the video, even though you've been seeing Corrine stuff this whole time.
Well, look, get over here and show them the flowers you haven't done yet.
My 50 million flowers. How many?
You've
Yeah.
done 2.
A lot.
What have you done the whole time?
Oh, those ones. I fed your cat. Quit your whinging, woman. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Oh,
There's a few.
I'm having a hot
And the
flush.
buds.
Is it hot in here?
Whose stupid idea was this?
It's hot. It's humid. This is Queensland weather. You've been thinking it's cold.
Yeah, no, it's humid. We're in winter. I'll be going back home to my
Freezing.
-3 and 6 degrees and 10 degrees if you're lucky during the day. But I mean, I can't complain. Better than Canada.
Yeah.
Freezing.
Antarctica.
I've got
Think of worse places.
Cannot imagine living with that much snow.
I don't know.
Like as in,
don't
I
think
can't
it'd be too
imagine it in
bad.
my head. Like it's just hard to picture.
When their doors are covered and they can't get out,
Yeah.
that'd be a bit scary. I'm thinking, oh, I'm in a cocoon here.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, I experienced snow because I was 20 months when we come to Australia. So I have experienced snow. I just don't remember it.
You were 20 months old.
Yeah, when we come to Australia. Yep.
Yeah,
I was only a little bubba.
from Holland.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
See, still old enough to understand the lingo.
I'm a Queenslander through and through. Just went from country to city. Now I've got a big knot at the back. Look at this. I think it's time to say goodbye. Oh
What
no.
are you whinging about now, Kat? Was that you saying thanks? Hope so.
Yes, he said thanks.
Thanks.
He'll want to go out now and
Oh, yeah, he's giving me a speech now.
he'll want us to lift the roller door a couple foot so he can just poke his head out from under it and view the world go by from the safety of the front yard and the fence. And it'll be his little bit of fudgy outside time. That's what he'll want next.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting a, leg rub. Thanks for feeding me. You're welcome, Fudgy.
Mum ignored me.
Yeah.
We'll have to go to the bowls club soon because it peaks at 7.
Does it?
They're all in bed by 7:30.
What did they say?
No,
This is where people go to die.
No, that's Harvey
Harvey
Bay.
Bay.
That's what my dad and mum would say because all their farmers' mates would retire, like the generation above them. So they were still in their 50s, 60s farming. But any of the older would sell up. So they'd see a farmer's on the market and they'd hear, oh, they're going to Harvey Bay. So the joke for that generation was, oh, they're going off to Harvey Bay to die. And a lot of the time, they'd go to Harvey Bay for 6 months and they'd be back. They'd sell up at Harvey Bay and buy a baby version of their farm or in the township of Gameri, and that's where they'd see their days out because Harvey Bay and the people and the salt air, it was just so foreign to a country person that's been in the country that they just couldn't relax and they got bored. Plus all their mates are in the country town.
That's right.
So, yeah, if they stayed, they'd die there. If they didn't, they'd sell up and they'd be back. And then they'd have stories. You don't want to go to Harvey Bay because that's where you go to die. So that's how it was a bit of an urban story for the country folk.
Okay.
So, yeah.
She's
So you got to go to Burrum Heads where it's all happening.
This is all the young.
It's even quieter.
Yeah,
and it's
We're
great.
starting to have young families here now, which is good.
Yeah. When you've been to Brisbane, this is like a sanctuary.
Yeah, it is. I'm glad I got to go and see the other house.
The Brisbane world.
Yeah.
So different to here.
The bead shop. That's nice.
We're missing the bead shop that was at Browns Plains, but there is one here. I need to find it.
I just need to suss it out.
Yeah, I think she's
'Cause,
from
you've
home.
got better quilt shops here. I mean, that's pretty good. You're pretty lucky.
The quilt shop's amazing, and we didn't even get to see the Bundaberg one, which I've heard stories that it's pretty good too.
Oh,
So,
what we saw with our little faces pressed against the window.
yes, that was a sad
So,
day. The boys got to the rum distillery, but we didn't get to the fabric shop.
No.
Woe is us.
Oh, actually,
We made up for it elsewhere.
That reminds me. We make sure I've got to have some rum before I go. Have it as a little toddy tonight. They bought the Lamington. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it a few times. We're quite perplexed at how they got the taste of a Lamington into a...
Yeah, it was beautiful. So
rum?
maybe I can have, if I sweet talk Gaz, can I please have some more of your yummy Lamington? He made me feel bad because he said, oh, it could be a real... They only made a few of them and we just opened it Could have been one that he could have saved.
No, he wouldn't have saved. He doesn't collect.
Doesn't need to collect
No.
alcohol.
He's got too many mates in the pinball world that would say, "Hey, Gaz, we've just cracked that bottle of rum you had in the cupboard." So it wouldn't have lasted. He wouldn't have even thought to save it, to be honest. That was probably sales pitch they gave him on the tour. We're very limited on the Leamingtons. It was a small batch and it's going to be worth money in the future. You better get a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the bottles that weren't selling and they're out there telling everyone that it's limited, but there's cartons of the stuff because no one really likes it. So we'll get the tourists to buy it. And Gaz was sucking in. But
I know,
it's really
it's
nice.
because it is very nice. You add a bit of, I reckon if you add a bit of pineapple juice to it and some crushed ice and maybe some
Coconut cream.
you'll have yourself a pina colada because it's got quite a coconutty taste.
But it's brown. You've got to have white rum for a peanut colada. Otherwise you'd have a dirty, rotten looking
No, I've heard
pineapple peanut colada.
There's somewhere that you can have.
No, it's got to be white
use
rum.
Spiced rum. There was recipes online.
Oh, okay.
And they actually said to use spiced rum. So I'm like, oh, there you go. But I bought the white stuff and it tastes nicer with the spiced.
Yeah, I use a Malibu when Marianne and I get into the pina coladas in the heat of summer. We make a few.
Yeah.
There's more pineapple juice than there is rum, mind you. It's like half a litre of pineapple juice.
Well, there is.
Half a can of coconut cream and a slight slush of rum.
Well, you don't need it because it's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Don't need it that strong.
I suppose.
Was it one of the ladies that says, you two need to get into some plonk and then do a video? Well, this is the closest you get, people.
We talk about recipes.
We talk about it.
But don't actually do it. But it sounds like Susanna's going to appear later tonight with the bottle of rum in the lounge room and say, Gaz, any chance of a toddy?
That'd be nice.
No.
Okay. Do you reckon I need to go along here or not?
Show them, ask the question.
Yeah. And I've got the ribbon there. Do I need to go? See how it's got a bit of a ribbon there? No, maybe in a different colour.
No.
So I'm doing that in the dark and then I'm going to come back.
Come back to camera.
I'm doing this in the dark, coming back, and then I'm going to do, fill it in a little bit. So you do all the, while you've got this on your skein. It looks a bit funny when you come back. Actually, maybe I ought to do a French knot in that colour.
Yeah.
Will it stand out or not?
I think it will. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I'll have a look. Okay, talk me into it.
I've just done 10 billion French knots. That's all I've achieved. And that's an hour of work. Oh, my goodness. Slow stitch. It's when you look...
slow stitch for a reason, people.
Yeah, when you go and look at your work and you're like, I've been here 2 hours and watched a movie and all I've done is thread painted 2 petals. It's like, oh, my goodness.
Could we yap it? We've gone over time, you realise.
I know, we're supposed to turn it off.
We need to go to the bowls club. No, so we do need to turn it off. I'm going to do me 2 French knots. You can do whatever you need to do.
I'll just finish this last bit. I think I've got 3 knots in this thread that I can bury into this, whatever it is. It looks like a protea or something, this flower. I don't know.
Yeah, protea.
Protea. Once I get them, I shall...
Actually, there is a word that you use and I'm like, it's not pronounced that way.
What is the word?
Like I do it too. I say stuff. It's... No.
You're the one that says sequence instead of sequin.
Yeah, that's it.
So what's the word that I say that you go, Corrine, that's not how you say it? There'd be heaps.
Yeah.
I'm always getting comments. I don't think that's pronounced like that.
But it could be I'm Victorian, you're Queenslander. We do speak differently.
I'm from Pluto and you're from Mars.
Yeah. No, the Victorians speak a lot faster. They do. Whereas
we say slow with a drawl.
They are. That's what Brad said. Gary's a true Queenslander because he just speaks not real slow, but just slower than what the.
Yeah, that's because he thinks about what he says and doesn't talk rubbish too. Yeah. Like he's considerate of his speech. I think that's English, but Gary's mum's like that. She's very
Yeah,
considerate.
he hasn't got a drawl or anything like
She'll
that. But
say it once
Queenslanders are
and
real,
she's correct.
because they're chilled, you know, like they're just chilled and laid back. And I think maybe the Victorians speak fast because they're
You
cold.
definitely talk fast. I just talk a lot.
Well, that's what Brad was saying when you had someone on the phone. He was talking really fast. He was going to ask you, is he Victorian? Like, he lives here, but is he...
That was the real estate
agent.
Yeah, the real estate agent.
Is he from Victoria?
I don't know.
You'll have to ask him.
I was talking to the agent I wanted to talk to the agent that has sold our house in Brisbane, but the assistant rang, and I think he hasn't yet got his licence, or I'm not sure, but he said, Nathan's on holidays. Can I help you with anything? I said, yeah, I just wanted to see how things were going, to know if our property is going to be unconditional, because it's subject to the buyer selling a block of land, which is being auctioned in a fortnight. So I just wanted to know if they're getting lots of interest in said block of land. And he said, oh, yes, we've even had verbal offers already, but the buyer's going to make them all come to the auction because, you never know, there might be an extra 100,000 profit in it for him.
Yeah, well, it's worth it.
I would too, because it's a lovely block of land and very rare in that area. So, and he was so fast.
He was.
And that's what Brad heard was this. Is he from Victoria? Don't know. It's only young. He's very enthusiastic, young fella. Anyway, I've done 10 billion knots.
Yeah,
You've done hardly any flowers because you've got hundreds to go.
Busy talking.
And you fed the cat.
That's it.
So, what's the time? 11 minutes past the hour.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, guys, we're going to say goodbye. And like I said, you'll see this video over on Susanna's channel, but it'll have her artwork pop up on it. But it's the same story, so don't panic. You're not seeing double where you are.
Yeah. Well, we can take a photo
of
of both of our works.
Yeah.
And then
and that'll
have
be
the
the
same
tile.
photo on the thing. That way you go, okay, I've seen it in the same.
Yeah. All right. Well, this will be the last time you'll get a video with the pair of us in the same location. Unless we wake up tomorrow morning and feel enthusiastic.
May not.
May not. Depends what happens at the Bowls
Depends
Club
how
tonight.
much food we eat.
And that rum.
The rum. Best night's sleep I've had all week.
Yeah, I'll be shaking her at 1 o'clock saying, we got to go now.
That's it.
All right, guys.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.